Hey, it's Kat Mykals. I am in my office about to do a photo shoot. I don't have any makeup on. I have a clean face, just some moisturizer. I did fix my hair a little bit. But I actually have Dacia with me today, and she is going to be doing my makeup for me, and I'm super excited. She is a makeup artist here in Evansville. Yep. And is it Dacia Drew?
Dacia Drew. Yeah.
Dacia's
View is my Instagram and my blog.
Yes. Yeah. Which I follow, and that's kind of, I was following her on Instagram, and then I ran into her in real life one day, and I was like, hey, I think we're Instagram friends. Yes. And here we are. Turns out her daughter is a fan.
Big fan.
And is she excited that you're here today?
She actually dressed me.
Did she?
Yeah,
she did so good. Yay!
Thank you.
Yay! So we are going to do makeup for a photo shoot, and we're going to see what kind of magic Dacia can work, because I'm exhausted and have bags under my eyes, and I did not wake up this morning feeling very good about myself. So we're going to see what happens.
That sounds good. I think serum looks straight up for me. This goes all over like your orbital bone, like if you were to use this at home. What it's going to do is we're going to put these little pads on while I'm doing your eyes, or while we're doing the eyes, and it's actually just going to depuff even more. So just any kind of pooling, usually from lack of sleep.
So it's going to make me not look like a zombie.
Not tired.
Less like a zombie.
Not tired, exactly. You don't look like a zombie though, so.
That's good.
It might make you look a little like a zombie, because I feel like these look a little like mummified like tape. So it might be a little mummy-like for a minute. I guess not zombie-like. They're really cooling, like, to the touch. And you don't have to do this like all the way up at your lash line if you were to do this at home, because the way our eyes are, all this moves up. So if you get it too close, it can get in your eyes and cause burning.
Yeah, but we don't want to do that.
No, that's bad.
Yay!
Eye masks! Okay. I'm gonna have you just go ahead and close your eyes.
Okay.
You ready? You trust me?
I do. I do.
I trust you. I trust you.
Alright, here we go.
Okay. And you were pretty, like, just let you do whatever you want for the most part. You weren't super picky.
No.
What you wanted.
Just make me look like rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll. It's my favorite. So yeah, we're gonna do just like more of a kind of that smoky-esque eye, but not like too crazy, obviously. So what I'm gonna do is kind of do where it smokes out just on the edges.
Perfect.
And give you like a really nice line. Nothing too intense. You don't want to shut your whole eye down. If you go too dark all over, you know, you could lose everything.
Right.
And nobody wants that.
No. And I have hooded eyes too, so you start to
you
lose my eyelid and.
You're right. You're totally right. And I was like looking for like what I wanted to do, and that was one of the things is like you don't want to lose your entire lid, so you almost don't want to do like an intense like cat eye or anything, because you lose all of that. Not that you can't, just that, you know, if you lose any kind of fun color or any pop you'd want to put into anything, which kind of, you know, is no fun.
Yeah, I'm learning that with my hooded eyes, it's better if I do my eyeliner like real tight along my lash line. Then it accentuates my eye and it doesn't make my eyelid look like it's non-existent.
That's exactly right. I have to do that too anymore, because I feel like my eyes are bigger, but I feel like as I'm getting older, obviously I'm losing space that I used to have, so I get really weird about how I used to do my liner, where it was like super thick. I'm gonna have you look straight at me really quick, and all I'm doing is kind of deciding where we would want to do any kind of darker color, so that way we don't lose all that space. So in your eye, and you can kind of see, it's a lot further up than what you would think. I can show you actually too. I know you probably don't care as much, but so see how you'd almost have to like find it further.
Oh yeah.
So it makes your crease a little bit lower, or higher, I guess. Higher, not lower.
And you're doing my eye makeup first, because that prohibits any like fallout or anything like that on my cheeks afterwards. And
yeah, it helps with all of that. It also helps like because you're wanting, you know, a little more brightening underneath the eye and all that. It helps you do all that later to clean up any mistakes with like your concealers easier, all that kind of stuff. Plus, I just like to kind of do my eyes, like if I'm going to do an intense look, I kind of like to do them first, so that way if I get like halfway through and I want to blend more, I have the opportunity to like add a little bit without adding more texture.
Right.
And this is just straight like blending. So right now we started a little bit deeper because we're going to go in and add like more colors and all that in the crease, so we could really decide like we're really carving out everything.
And that was you had the Anastasia Beverly Hills, that was the Modern Renaissance palette?
Modern Renaissance palette. Yeah, a palette that I never thought I would want in my entire life until I used it actually on a prom girl one day. And I was like, oh man, now I have to buy that. That's great. I was really trying not to like fall into the hype. Failed.
I bought it for Elizabeth. She uses it all the time.
Did she like her buxom?
Oh my god, she loved it.
Did she get to play with the fun color?
Yeah, we couldn't have nailed that any better.
I'm glad.
Yeah, for you, I popped in to get an Easter gift for my daughter, and Dacia helped me pick out a buxom eyeshadow palette where it's like a build your own palette, so you have to pick out the individual colors. And we picked out some really great fun shades, kind of mermaidy sort of shades for Elizabeth. She flipped. She was so excited.
They're so much fun. They're like super like pigmented, and that one is like she got a transformer shade.
Yeah,
so
it looks like one color in the pan, and it looks completely different like on.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely the most popular color. I guess Urban Decay had a color like that for a really long time, I guess. And you can't really get it anymore or something. I don't know, that could be wrong, but that's apparently why that one's so popular. Shapeshifter.
She loved it.
Okay, so I started with that darker color, and now I'm going in and adding some of my lighter, like more shimmery-ish shades, I guess, if you will. And I'm doing, this is a Moofy palette, so I'm kind of mixing palettes, I guess. And I'm doing more of a gold on your lid and stuff. That way we'll get that really nice pop of like brightness without like a stark white.
And gold's flattering for brown eyes too, isn't it?
Flattering for brown eyes, really flattering for blue eyes too because of the gold undertones in it. Brown eyes are lucky because they can kind of really pull off almost anything. Purples usually are a little bit better because they pull out, you know, the gold in the eye. Blues and greens, the golds and like coppers and stuff always make them like super bright and shiny. Like water, like it's crazy. Sorry.
No, you're okay. It's not copyrighted, so I don't have to cut it out of the video.
I just like to make up my own songs, so you never know what you might get. That's gonna be the new thing.
And how long have you been doing makeup?
I've been doing makeup for almost 9 years now. I used to always tell everybody like about 10 years. I worked at Sephora for a really long time. I got certified through all of them, and then kind of branched out on my own so I could be home with my daughter more. Just in the last like year. But I've done weddings and stuff on the side for about 7 years, pretty much since I started.
That's awesome.
It's way more fun that way.
So you've been doing makeup almost as long as I've been doing radio.
I guess
it'll be 11 years for me this month, actually.
Wow.
My technical hiring date into the world of radio was 6606.
6606.
Yes, that's the only reason that I remember my radio anniversary. But it was because the joke was, you know, it didn't get any more rock and roll.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. For some reason, I know that has nothing to do with anything, but for some reason that just reminded me of like something that would have been in Empire Records. Like, dude, like I got hired in on 666.
666. Yeah. I love Empire Records. That is such a great movie.
It's like one of my favorite movies. I was trying to tell one of the girls at Ulta about it the other day, or somebody, and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Like, that really kind of upsets my life because it's such a good movie. Renee Zellweger.
Yes. Well, and gosh, I forget what I saw. It's been within the last like 3 or 4 years. But I watched a movie and I was trying to figure out, I'm like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who's that guy? And I was like, oh my god, that's Ian. He's the kind of blonde, curly haired, the sort of ditzy one.
Yeah, the one that like falls asleep or whatever.
Yes.
And War's like on the thing.
Yes.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. He's in all kinds of stuff.
I know.
I didn't realize it either.
I kept thinking, why does he look familiar? And then there was something, and he like made a face, and I was like, oh my god, that's the guy from Empire Records.
Yep, I did the same thing. I saw him in something the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I know that guy. Oh, I was telling the girls I was doing that Sexy Rexy.
Sexy Rexy
is so sexy.
Yeah.
They didn't get it.
Rex Manning Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Letters to Cleo at the end on the roof.
Oh, yeah. I think that was, like, quintessential to any kind of movie like that, though. Like, because they were in, 10 Things I Hate About You, too?
Yeah. Yep.
And they had a cameo on Parks and Rec, which made me giggle.
Oh, I think I missed that episode.
They did that, like, park aid thing that was supposed to be, like, a big, huge thing, and Adam Scott's character is, like, sitting on the sideline with a Letters to Cleo shirt on, and she's singing, like, to him.
Oh,
it's
God.
really cute.
I'll have to go back and find that one. We must have missed that. Sean sometimes will, when we're watching stuff like that, he'll watch some things without me sometimes after I leave for work.
Oh, so you'll miss, like, pieces?
Yeah.
That always happens to me, too, so I've started watching things on my own, like, after the fact. Like, if it's on dual screens, like, Hulu and Netflix, I'll start it on my own somewhere else. So I'm like, well, they're going to watch it without me anyway. I might as well, like, have my own going. That's how Parks and Rec happened to me.
Really?
Because I was looking for, like, a binge one that I didn't have to, like, sit and, like, really pay a ton of attention to.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, Parks and Rec. And I just, because I'm so out of the loop, I just finished The Office for the first time all the way through.
Yep, a couple months ago.
Yeah, I just finished, literally, like, last month.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I finally saw the whole thing.
How amazing was it, though?
It was really good.
And did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I'm not usually a big crier. But I was starting to get really, like, I almost shut it off in that last season when they were trying to make them break up or seem like they were breaking up. Yeah, I did almost was like, nope, I'm done with you guys. I can't handle you anymore.
No. We need Jim and Pam.
Yeah, it's like the quintessential love story.
Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen The Office, but at this point, if I'm spoiling something, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I get
when he gives her the video, I'm just like, oh my god.
That was so Jim of him, though. Like,
it is so Jim of him.
That was so Jim of him. Like, if he hadn't done something like that, I would have been like the angriest child. Like, I just would have been so mad. And I just love that he had to like keep defending her almost for everybody. Like, she was like, no guys, like, you don't see what I do like at home. Like, you're not here. Like,
right.
Just goes to show you people don't always know what's going on.
Nope.
So right now I'm taking the red from the Mona Renaissance, and I'm running it over all the browns so it looks like a plummy to kind of match your hair without being monochromatic.
Oh, cool.
Just give you a little pop of color. I like to do something a little fun.
Yeah.
Or something. Oh my god, I saw Boss Baby the other day. Have you seen that yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I want to.
It was cute. Was it? It was cute. It was not as cute as I thought it was going to be because I think everybody kind of hyped it up for me. Because, you know, Facebook, I've got all the mommies on my Facebook now.
Sure.
They were like, oh, it was really great. It was, like, hilarious. And I was like, oh, great, cool. It was really funny. It just was, I think I hyped it up for myself.
That's always disappointing when you do that.
Well, and they kept talking about... Go ahead. Sorry. I'm such an interrupter.
No, you're fine.
They kept doing that, too. Like, there's so many, like, adult jokes and, like, kids jokes. And, like, they're really... I mean, there were, but there weren't. Any more than, like, any other kid show.
Sure. No, Shrek for me was kind of the like quintessential. Here are all the grown-up jokes slipped in. You know, the kids don't know why the grown-ups are laughing in the theater.
That's actually, I think a lot of kids movies try to do that now. They just can't. Like, it's already kind of, you know, been done. I heard that there might be another Shrek coming or something. I could be wrong.
Really?
I feel like I heard that, but I feel like I hear that about a lot of things.
Sure.
Like the Labyrinth. There's a new Labyrinth coming.
What?
Yeah, they're gonna do.
How can you do a new Labyrinth without David Bowie?
Well, that's what everybody said. It was like, how are you going to do that without Bowie? And they are going to, they're not going to replace him. They're going to basically, like, explain away his character, and they're going to have a Goblin Queen. And they're saying they're thinking, like, Lady Gaga.
But that would be cool. That would be fitting.
That would be perfect. I know. I was like, I'm not always a huge Lady Gaga fan. Like, I think she, like, is probably a great person, but she's not always, like, my go-to for things. But... she would be the perfect replacement for him.
Yeah, I like that she has finally figured out that her art expression doesn't have to
be insane.
Well, that she doesn't have to do that to sell records.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a big one for her for sure. Her voice is like insane. I didn't realize until that new album that she had come out.
Oh, her voice is incredible. Have you ever heard her stripped down with just her and a piano is...
Yeah, it's like insane. I didn't until she released that other song off her album recently, that Million Reasons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started like looking up some of her stuff, and I was like, well, you know what? More power to her. She's got like actual real pipes.
Yeah.
Are you watching America's Got Talent?
I'm not.
I'm not either, but this is from America's Got Talent, so I'll tell you anyway. Because it's, you know, it's with the thing. Do you know who Puddle's Pity Party is? Have you ever heard of that? I know it sounds really weird. He's a clown.
I was gonna say, is that the clown? Because sometimes the clown, there's what are they? Modern Jukebox.
Postmodern Jukebox. Yes,
they do all of these like 40s swing style songs, but they cover modern songs, but they sing them in that.
And he's in that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like the stand-up bass and the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen the clown.
He's on America's Got Talent right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he actually started crying at the end of his thing because even Simon was like, I don't like clowns. He's like, but I think you've changed my mind. He's like, I'd love to see what you're like. Called him super creative, and he did that Chandelier cover that Postmodern Jukebox wrote for him.
Oh wow!
It was amazing. So this is just a brow gel from Benefit. Actually, it's a mix of a Benefit one and a Urban Decay one. The Benefit one has fibers, so it makes the brow look fuller, and I like the color of the other one better, so I mixed them so it looks not as insanely dark. Because I'm usually the one that mixes like 8,000 products, because sometimes they just don't give you the same color you want on your everyday life, you know?
Right. My brows are a disaster. They actually have been over waxed a couple of times, like from the center.
From the center of your eyes, or from the center of like your...
I got this way. They've been over waxed this way, and I've spent the last year plus trying to grow them back in.
They look good, honestly.
I worry about the one you're working on now. My left one, I feel like it looks okay. The one you're working on now, I feel like it's still pretty thin in that part, but...
It's thinner than the other, yes, but the cool thing about this Benefit one that I love is it actually finds those few little hairs you have over here where you're trying to like pull it out a little bit more.
Right.
It holds onto those and fiber wraps it. So it makes those look fuller.
That's super cool.
Without being like a pencil, like a hard drawn pencil line. Not that I'm opposed to like a pencil brow, but I think a gel is just a lot more natural looking, and especially with like that feathered trend that's in right now. Not like, you know, the feather in the middle, but...
Yeah, no, that's a little weird.
Yeah. Did you see them? They're doing that, and there's another brow they were doing that was like insane. Oh, no, I can't remember.
I was making sure we're still recording.
Oh, you're good. I was like, I could totally look over there for you. I'll let you go ahead and look at some of this really quick while we're moving right along here. Let's look at your brows.
My brows look amazing. And all you did was the little... There's no pencil?
Mm-mm. No pencil.
That's outstanding.
Mm-hmm. And once we get your face on, we'll soften everything else around your eyes so it all looks...
Yeah, that's cool.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can always say no. Easily fixable, let's just make it. Okay, I'm going to have you look at it for me because I'm going to start cleaning everything up so I can buff those out so they're not as strong. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Your eyes?
Yeah.
So
they feel a little tighter without being like dry and tight.
Right.
Like if that makes sense at all.
It makes sense to me. But this is just serum, so we're just literally working it into your skin. And since you already did a moisturizer, I'm just going to prime your skin. So I'm not going to put like an extra moisturizer or anything on top. I'm just going to prime it up. Okay. Do you get shiny? Like if you were like in the heat for a good minute, or no, not really?
Not really.
Okay.
But it kind of depends on like what I'm using.
Gotcha.
And what kind of mood my skin is in that day. Like right now my skin seems to be fairly hydrated because I've really been focusing on that the last couple days because I knew like I didn't want my skin to be flaky and gross, and I exfoliated last night. But like if I use, it seems like if I use matte foundations, it settles and dries me out and it ages my skin.
Gotcha.
So the one that I'm using right now, but if I use something that's like moisturizing formula, then it's too oil slicky like. So the one I'm using right now is kind of a it's got a softer glow to it.
Okay.
And it's like a medium coverage foundation. So I look glowy, but I don't think I look oily with it, but I never really know.
Okay. Okay. This sounds about just like everybody else in the world. So this is a primer from Urban Decay, and we're just going to slick it on. But it's an optical blurring one. So what it's going to do is where you do get maybe a little bit shinier, it's blurring out like pores, and it's controlling that shine.
Is it going to blur out the giant crease in my forehead?
It's going to blur out the giant crease in my forehead. You don't have a giant crease. You have a little fine line.
Today. Some days it's giant.
It'll blur some, but I do have another one that I will put on and kind of tap in spots where you might get more gathering, and more like where it kind of gets cakey. It only kind of just, does on everybody's skin in certain areas. But this is from Urban Decay. The other one I'm going to use is actually Revlon, and Ulta sent it to me as like a platinum member, and I love it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think I would. I'm not normally a drugstore like foundation girl. Not that you can't be. I just don't normally because I work in cosmetics and I have for forever. So
yeah,
they don't always come out with new things the way like higher end brands do.
Sure.
But this one had Gwen Stefani on it actually. It's supposed to be like insane, and I will tell you, I've been using it since they sent it to me. Because it's like it's like their primer. And they have like a one that's supposed to be made for here too. But if you want to feel it here, tap it in.
Yes. It's locked. Stand by.
Where are we going? They're fine. Where are we going for this thing?
Well, we're going to meet here at 5.
We're meeting here at 5? I thought they were doing a shoot at 5.
We're meeting here at 5, and then they're going to do the shoot down here, but I don't know exactly where the photographer's going to take us. I just know we're meeting here at 5.
Doing a shoot here?
We're going to shoot downtown.
Okay, thank you.
It's like talking to children sometimes through a door. I feel like that's anybody. Anyway, so yeah, it's super blurring. But they have apparently like a serum one that's made specifically for forehead.
For forehead?
Yeah, I haven't used it yet. I've only used this, but this keeps my makeup on like all day. Like I told somebody, I was like, the first day I had it, it was Friday because Sportsman's had just opened and we went and like did stuff, and I was like, I have never had my makeup like look as fresh as I did when I put it on.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
that's amazing.
It's so soft.
And it doesn't feel greasy.
Mm-mm.
A lot of times, the primers that I found, a lot of times they feel they're the silicone based.
And they're heavy.
Yeah, and they just like it. I feel like they just make it slippery.
I hate that. I hate the slip. I like this one literally because you said it hasn't. You can feel the stop on it. That's what I like. Like I almost like can feel a stop.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Okay, put that in there. Maybe put things back where they go. Okay. Okay. So the foundation we're gonna do. I'm actually gonna do Exuviance, which is a water-based one, so you won't feel heavy, and it's just more hydrating. But I'm actually gonna mix it with hard candy drops, which is weird. But they are actually from Walmart. But they've got the most amazing coverage. I've been wearing them mixed with my Exuviance one. Right now I'm just testing the color.
Sure.
I've been wearing it mixed with my Exuviance one, and it's like full coverage with no weight. Okay, we're gonna need this more gold one. Okay, that's what I thought. Cool. Yeah, classic beige is your shade.
That seems legit.
Classic beige seems right. Yeah, it seems about like
That's about
what you might do in your life. Seems like something I would pick on my own. I always ask people that, like, at work, like, hey, is there one of those that you would gravitate to, like, foundations, like, you would gravitate to, and they always look at you like, no. Like, there's not, if you were by yourself, you wouldn't just pick a random one?
I have an olive complexion, so I have to be, like, I can't always tell just by looking, but if I pick a couple of them up and hold them side by side, I can tell which one looks pinkish or orangish, and those I have to stay away from. So,
because you've got more.
I've got more green and yellow tone in my skin.
And not a lot of foundations are made for that, which, like, I have the opposite problem where I have really fair skin, but I have really full coverage, and it's really, like, it's actually really yellow, but it's more neutral, I guess, for other brands. So I actually can't find matches at all. Like, I have to, like, mix whites or go, like, 2 shades lighter because they assume pale skin is pink skin, and that's not always the case.
Right.
So that's why the Kat Von D line is so popular, because she actually has, like, real shades for pretty much everybody.
Now, I've used A friend of mine gave me some of hers that, like, the shade didn't match her skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it, and it was so heavy and dry and cakey. And I don't know if it's because I wasn't doing it right or what
The Kat Von D one?
Yeah. The Locket.
Yeah, the Locket one. I like that one, but honestly, I tell people I only really ever used it on my skin because I felt like it was the same way. I felt like it was just really heavy. And I like a matte finish, and I felt like it was way too matte and just like was just almost just too much. I just put it on my legs with my moisturizer as like my body foundation.
Right.
When I like go to like Holiday World and stuff. But it's just dry and heavy because it's just so creamy. Okay, I'm gonna grab a beauty blender so I can start softening this in. I brought some with me already pre-moistened, so we didn't have to worry about it. Somewhere, there they are. And the beauty blenders are moistened with water and setting spray, so it'll just kind of hold everything on even longer. So as we're buffing it, we're giving it more, giving it more staying power, I guess, if you would.
I'm gonna make it stick.
I have a beauty blender like love-hate. Like I think it's the greatest tool ever, but I don't think it's like the end-all of tools like everybody else seems to. I think it does a great job, but sometimes like if you need to get up here, sometimes it can be harder. But I like to place mine with a brush because of that, because I just feel like it gives me more flexibility.
I'll be honest, typically I use my fingers.
And some foundations are made for that, honestly.
Yeah. And I have blenders and I have brushes, and sometimes I use either one, but for the most part, like everyday makeup, I'm just like, here we go.
Throw it on with the fingers.
Swipe, swipe.
Get it set. Some foundations are made for that. The only thing they really say about like obviously your fingers is you have pressure points on your hands, so it can automatically create a streakier look just because of the way our hands are naturally, you know,
right,
with life. And they can be obviously kind of dirty because they're our hands and they're always in stuff, especially with phones and everything. So they just really don't recommend it a lot because of the microbe, the ickness of it.
The grody.
Yeah, yeah, the ickness, the bacterias, you know, but I don't think that's wrong. I think sometimes like it works better. There are some products that I use that like I have to use my hands because they just won't. If you don't, like they just won't.
Have you used one of the silicone sponges?
I haven't yet. Have you?
No, I have one, but I haven't tried it yet.
I've heard they're great. I'm excited to see what you think. I've heard they're really good. I haven't tried one. I think they would be great. I mean, they're made for more full coverage, so I would think that it would be fine. And they've got to be more like black spot. Hold on. They've got to be better than these because they're not soaking anything up.
Right.
So you're not like losing your foundation or anything.
So that's my problem with the sponges is I feel like I lose product.
Somehow I got a little bit of something in your foundation right here. There we go. It just doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yay!
Yay! Winning. Life goals. Okay. Sorry, I try to remember like stick things in places because I forget, like I'm the person that's like basically a whirlwind. I'm like a tornado when I walk into places. I just take over and do whatever I want.
No, you're just fine. That's exactly what I expected.
A whirlwind of craziness? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Looks straight up for me.
You're hiding my circles?
I am doing a little bit of a concealer corrector. And this time I am going to take my finger. We're just going to press it in so that it kind of blurs out any lines or anything like that. Especially because your foundation's more water-based. Sounds like there's like a movie party going on outside. All the sound effects and...
Yeah, it's hard telling. That sounded like Ben. He's our chief engineer. He might keep everything running and
keep it going.
Station going, yeah.
Somebody has to be in charge of that, right?
And they do a really good job. And things go wrong as they get fixed and they get handled.
Like immediately?
As immediate as possible, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm just gonna mix this Moussey foundation in, only because the water-based one is giving us our like sheer color, and then this is just giving us our coverage we would want like in any real spots.
Okay.
I was watching a YouTube thing this morning, actually, because who's not watching YouTube literally nonstop?
All the time.
Right.
I get sucked in.
Actually, I think it was Snapchat. I'm not gonna lie. It's a girl from YouTube on Snapchat. Off one of the, I read the Snapchat story, like, discover your people on Snapchat. Little, yeah, I like those. I don't know why. But she's talking about, like, the best coverage for, like, acne or whatever. And she was even saying, like, which you don't have acne at all, but, you know, just coverage-wise. She was saying taking, like, 2 foundations is what she does, and she does, like, a foundation on spots. And then she takes another foundation all over to give, like, more color, because apparently the darker, which I didn't think, this would be true, I just had not ever thought about it, the darker the foundation color, the more pigment, so the more coverage you get.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you went up a little bit more, you would have more coverage because of the pigment. And I was like, well, that makes sense. I had never, ever, ever thought about that, ever. But, who knew?
No, that does make sense.
No, I haven't thought about it. This is banana powder. We're going to use it to set some stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to stick it in this little disc, too.
I have the big giant thing of like the Coty Airspun powder.
Oh, I have that, too.
And I love it. It reminds me of my grandmother.
You're good.
But whenever I try to use it, I feel like it over dries under my eyes, and then it makes every single wrinkle under my eye show up.
Show more.
Yeah.
See, I was noticing that with that on mine, too, because I do a lot, like, coverage underneath my eyes because I'm so fair. And I was, like, sticking that underneath, because that's what they said to use it for, like, baking. They said it was best for that. And I said the same thing. I was like, I feel like it's, like, I love it on the rest of my skin, but I feel like under my eyes it's just too dry. And, like, because I work all day, and then I have to, like, go do stuff, and I always, like, try to touch up underneath my eyes because, like, that's my sore spot. You can't.
Once you put that on.
No, you can't do anything. It's, like, the worst. Like, you better not cry and think you're going to, like, fix something, because it's not going to happen. You're stuck
it sets.
Yeah. You're done for life.
I think if you were, 20 or 22 and you had perfect youthful skin, yeah, I think you're fine to use it, but my skin is not suited for that.
Well, my skin's not suited for that either. It just, like, couldn't, it's too much. I do have it, but it's a lot. It's a lot, for sure. I don't know why I'm, like, thinking so weirdly. Okay, so we're going to do, this is an IT Cosmetics contour kit, if you will. And I like to go, I don't know what they call this. I don't know what the technical terms are for anything.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't need technical terms. It's the little flappy thing on your ear.
Yeah, I always call it your earball.
Your earball.
It reminds me of, like, Robin Williams for some reason. I don't know why. But if you take it from your earball to your smile line, that's your contour.
Okay.
So, it's very, to me it feels very Peter Pan. Like,
is it the tragus? Is that what it's called?
That sounds right. That sounds like a real thing.
Because I know there's a piercing you can get on your earball. You can get your earball pierced.
I like it. You might, the little earballs. I was like telling somebody that, and she was a nurse, and she was like, "That's not what it's called." And I was like, "Okay, but like that made you remember it, right?" I was like, "Yeah, you now know that's where it goes, right?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry that I like don't know technical terms, but
I think you're supposed to be able to like pierce that, and it's supposed to help with migraines."
I think you're right. I know there's a piercing that's supposed to help with that.
I think it's that one, and I think it's called a tragus. Target? It's not Targus.
Target.
Tragus. I think it's a tragus.
Target is what it says.
But I'm probably saying that way wrong. That's okay. I say all kinds of things way wrong all the time.
That's pretty much my entire life. I mean, I talk, well, you do too. I talk all day for a living, and I swear, like, sometimes, I was talking to one client, I said, that wasn't even sentences, so I hope you... That was, like, not even real words. She was like, no, but you're fine. I was like, okay, great.
Yay.
Great. I'm glad
we speak the same language.
We got it figured out. She was like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, okay, I'm thrilled.
That's how you know you found like your tribe of people is when you can't
you're not do anything.
When you're not speaking in anything that's actually coherent, but they understand everything you're trying to say.
That's exactly how this little lady was. I mean, it was like 4 clients too. I think they were helping each other at one point because I was just like, words. Go ahead and close for me really quick. I was like, yeah, some words. And this is just a fine line eyeliner, like liquid liner. But it's so small, I can kind of push it right at that lash line. Like what you normally do, but not with a pencil, with like a liquid. I don't know if you use liquid, maybe you do sometimes, but.
I do sometimes. Right now I'm using a ColourPop gel liner, like a twist up gel pencil.
Do you like that one?
I do, because it glides pretty smooth. What I struggle with liquid liner like this is that I end up with too thick of a line because I can't ever get it straight, and then I try to fix it, and then you've seen the memes where you end up with raccoon eyes. That's me. And God forbid that I should try to use anything with an actual like brush with the pot, with the potted. Not the gel. No, I can do the gel on like an angle brush. Okay. I'm talking like the liquid eyeliner that has the real fine.
Oh, it's like the Lancome ones. Lancome makes where they like dip them in like a thing. You're totally fine. They dip them in like a thing, and then you get
like the brush is like thin and small and.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think we're on the same page.
And I can't do those. And then they don't dry fast enough, and that whole hooded eyelid thing. That's the other thing with like liquid liner. If you don't leave your eye closed long enough after you finish with that liquid liner and you open your eyes, guess where the liner goes?
In your crease.
Every time.
That's why I like this one, because it's so thin. I like it especially for like when I'm doing other people's makeup, because I do typically myself enjoy a thick line. It makes me like slow down and be like, whoa. Like, we need to build this up. Not everybody wants to have a big giant thick line.
I love the cat eye look. I really do. And I can do it sometimes, but
it just takes time.
It does, and it's tricky. And then I struggle with like I can never get them to match. One side is angled up higher, the other side is out more, and it's just like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. The struggle is real.
This is all of the things you say to yourself as you're trying to do a wing liner. It's like one of those memes too. It's my life. I do makeup for a living, and I feel like I can do wings on anybody else, but on myself, because it's your face for one, and then you're like looking at it, and it's not, you got one eye closed and one eye open. It's hard. It's so hard. I can do it. It just takes a lot more time than I'm willing to devote to myself. And all I'm doing is kind of evening out, because I want to keep, I want to keep our eyes basically the same. We don't want to have two different eyes. Alright, you can. Sorry. Hi. How's it going?
Good.
And all I'm just doing, you can open or close, whatever is easier for you. All I'm doing is just blending and softening. I like to kind of get everything in place and then just blend and soften any like harsh lines, anything like that, because we're not all, going for that crazy Instagram look. We just want something. I'll have you look up for me. Take a little unicorn fixer and get just a little bit of that red out from underneath. That's what happens when I decide to add a little more color in a spot that I really need a little more color. All I'm doing is just, like I said, cleaning up from where I added more color. I always feel awkward when I'm like, you can open. How's it going? Besties? Like it's like the dentist or like the eye doctor. Like you're trying really hard not to be like super awkward, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, you can't.
Sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
It's so quiet in here.
Yeah, it's weird. It must be getting close to 5 o'clock.
Everybody switch out at 5?
Yeah.
There's not many people here. It's only 4:30.
Yeah.
4:35, I guess.
Actually, I think anybody on this side of the building that's still here is probably in a studio.
Oh.
Although Ryan may still be next door, I'm not sure. Oh, muscle spasm.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, do you see it?
In your eye? I thought it was your foot.
Nope. And my under eye started to twitch. It was awesome. It stopped.
It's okay. So I didn't move anything. If it did,
No.
I didn't see it. I missed it. I feel like that's the way it always works when I get like weird things.
It was just like all of a sudden it was fluttering. Those were fun. Usually I get them in my, it's a sign of stress for me.
The eye fluttering is? Like
Yeah.
twitching?
Yeah. I'll get muscle spasms in my my upper eyelid.
Really?
Yeah. Well, in my eyelid, not my upper eyelid, lower lid, upper lid. Anyway, it's like right here. And I get like, it's like a tick. It's like a facial tick.
Really?
And I can always tell when it's getting really close to time for me to take vacation.
You get ticky?
Yeah.
Ticky?
Yeah, I get ticky.
That's so fun though.
Yeah.
Like you guys, it'd be like, I mean, you could use that to your advantage. Like, do you guys really want to see me tick right now? Like, you're stressing me out, guys.
You're really starting to stress
me out, and I don't want to tick.
It's a weird thing.
There are way worse things you could do though when you're stressed out.
I suppose so, yes.
I mean, there was a girl I knew in high school that had that, where you kind of pull your hair,
Mm-hmm.
and she would pull her lashes.
Oh.
It was like the worst, because she was like a dancer and was like all that kind of stuff, and it would just, you pull all those out and then you have to replace them all with
False
lashes and stuff. And when you do like dance and stuff your whole life, like it's like
I imagine that's hard because the stress is the reason that you pull them out, but then you stress because you don't have them.
Right, exactly. On top of finals and everything else you got going on in high school.
Yeah, high school isn't fun.
Mm-mm.
Rob and I did a would you rather the other day,
Oh yeah?
and it was like, would you rather travel into the future, or if you had a time machine, would you go forward or would you go back in time? And I'm like, I don't want to go back in time. I don't want to live that crap again.
Yeah, I don't know though. Not that I liked high school, but I mean I liked being younger. I guess that would depend on if you are more fearless or not, right?
I don't know.
Because like you don't know what happened in the future, but you know what happened in the past.
Yeah, but I didn't like it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to experience it. I think it would be painful to watch myself go through it. Like, I don't know. That's deep. I should stop.
No, you were totally fine. You were totally fine. I don't know, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Like, you kind of start to define yourself in high school, but not everybody does. Like, I have friends that I know that, like, if they saw themselves the way they are now, like, back then they would have never thought that they would be.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah, my high school class is planning their 20-year reunion.
Woo!
And I'm just like,
I don't know if I want to do that.
I went to the decade one. I don't know if I want to go to 20. I really don't.
I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just let you guys have fun.
I guess my next one would be my 15. I didn't go to any of mine. I was like, I just don't like, I still live in my hometown, so if I really want to see a lot of you, I have to go find you.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
it's all the same, right? When like, I feel like at your like 5 and 10, it's like, half of them are still in school. Like, nobody's really like, started anything yet.
Right.
Anymore, maybe in the past, but this is a Bare Minerals powder. If you want to touch it, I always let people touch it. Touch it. It's like paper, right?
That's crazy.
So it sets everything without adding any weight at all, which is great. And it's got a matte side and a glow side. So we do the matte one like on your jaw and like your forehead, and then the glow one goes like under your eyes and down like the center of your nose. So it's a natural highlight before you actually do anything else, which is great.
I'm probably way more subtle than your average highlighter.
Exactly. Not that we're not going to do a little bit of highlight, but yeah. Just look straight up. And like I said, all I'm doing is like buffing and like softening. We're really basically just finish touching things.
Kind of fine tuning.
And then we'll do lashes. Do you want to do lashes or do you want to do mascara? I have both. I brought single lashes, so you wouldn't have to do a full band if you didn't want to, but they might give you just a little extra.
Yeah, we can do lashes. I like lashes.
I didn't know, but I brought both. But I have these really cool ones that I like. They're like little trios, so we can do them like all the way up, and we can layer them a little bit more on the edges, so it'll wing out your lashes immediately without having to do anything else, which I like. And then I forgot what I was doing because I got to talking. That's right.
I actually I bought a Groupon I bought a Groupon to take everybody ice skating, and then it expired before we had an opportunity to get everybody together. It's kind of hard when there are 5 of you to get everybody together at the same time to go. So the Groupon expired, and then they were like, you have Groupon dollars, and you have, you know, X number of days to spend them on something else. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to lose the money that I spent on the ice skating Groupon.
Right.
So I was like, what do they have? And I couldn't really find anything. And then I was like, well, I'll buy this. So I bought, I have a Groupon for eyelash extensions. They haven't done it yet. But I've heard like mixed reviews on getting eyelash extensions.
I have lots of clients that have had eyelash extensions. I've not done them myself. As long as you go to somebody that's like licensed to do it, that's not like in a shady place, apparently it's fine. But you know, there's some like shady places you could end up.
Of course, well they're
like getting a back alley piercing or something. You wouldn't want to do that.
No, they're shady things with every service, I guess.
Yeah. I've heard that the best place in town, which I don't know how true this is because I don't have them, is the woman that does the threading that everybody loves. She used to be in the mall. She's across from the mall now by like where the post office, like Get Wet and all that used to be. She's like over there now.
Yeah, I know where you're talking about.
Apparently she's really, really good. I don't know if that's who was on your Groupon, but
it's not, but that's okay. That's good information to have.
I've heard she's pretty good, but I don't know.
I had not thought about Get Wet in years.
I actually walked past it. We drove past it the other day, and I was like, they have like some new mattress thing in there, and I don't know, for some reason I was like, I thought Get Wet was there, and they're like 10 years ago, and I was like, what? It was there.
And there was miniature golf there.
Yes, there were. I'm not that old.
There was miniature golf there, and now it's a car wash.
Yep.
It's like, my kid will never remember that. As far as she knows, it's always been a Mike's Car Wash. There's never been a miniature golf place.
Or mini golf. I had a friend I didn't know, we were friends then, but that's where he worked in high school, was that mini golf place.
That's funny.
So these are trios, see? So they look like little spiders almost.
They're cute.
Ta-da! Yay! And then I like these because they're easy. And I just dip. Give them about 30 seconds. Go ahead and close. And you stick them really close to your lash line, obviously, which you've worn lashes, so you know.
Lashes are so hit and miss. Like, sometimes I can put them on. I have no problems. And there are other times that I cannot get them on to save my life, and I just ruin my makeup, and it makes me so angry. Like, it pisses me off. Not even gonna lie. Like, why?
I worked so hard.
What is wrong with you?
I tried to put lashes on myself for the first time in forever the other day, and for some reason I had that same, like I had my whole face on, and I tried to do it because I was like, I do it on other people all the time, like it'll be fine. No, I like basically ruined my entire face, not to start over. I was just like, great, like that makes me seem really competent. But I can like,
it's good for my self-esteem too. No.
It's like, Jesus. Only I would be like, well, I tried one of those black masks. This kind of just reminds me of that. It's like I tried one of those black masks and I left it on for however long, but I got impatient and I scratched my nose and I put a big hole in it. And I was like, only I would get like halfway through a mask and get like impatient and touch it and create like a giant hole in my face. That's probably what happens with my lashes. I don't give them enough time to like do anything.
Right, to get tacky.
Yep.
So did the black mask, did it peel off your skin and all your hair and half your face?
It did not. I did the Hell Pour one, which was like one of the first ones that people like started talking about, and I ordered it from Amazon, and I was really pumped actually because I want it to pull my face off. Like, I'm about that. Like, if you're gonna get the stuff out of my face, I don't care how bad you hurt, just do it.
Just get the guts
out.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt at all. It pulled some stuff out, but it wasn't like the best of the best I've ever tried. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. There's supposed to be one other one that you can use that's supposed to be like insane. But from what I understand is the pain that people are feeling is like that peach fuzz, you know?
That's what I wondered.
And I do the dermaplaning, so I don't have a lot of peach fuzz anymore.
Do you dermaplane? I've been wondering about that, and I actually bought one of the little, it's like the little electric trimmer things, but I'm not crazy about it, and I think I just need to go with the blade.
I bought the Dermaflash one. I haven't had it done like in a professional place, but when I worked at Sephora, they let us check out that one when it came in to try it, and it was like life-changing. It was amazing. It's supposed to be the most similar to what you get like in office, but it's just like a blade, essentially, like a razor blade.
Right.
And it vibrates, but because that one's more, it pulsates more like the Clarisonic does when it cleanses your skin, it's supposed to be better. I have some like of the smaller like eye trimmer ones that are supposed to dermaplane and stuff too.
Right.
And those didn't do anything for me. So I finally broke down and bought the Dermaflash again. Well, not again. Bought it for myself since I got to try it. And I'm way happier with it. Especially as like a very fair-haired, or a very fair, dark-headed girl. Like, it's nice to have like that. Like I was telling somebody, I was like, I basically like, no shame, I basically have a beard because I'm old and I had a kid and like hormones and I have dark hair.
Right.
And I was like, it didn't make it grow back gross. I was like, it actually like was kind of nice to get it all off, like to get like my sideburns and everything all
well, I have peach fuzz all over my face. It's part of being human.
Well, yeah.
And it's not that I have any issue with being human or having peach fuzz, but it's supposed to make your makeup lay better.
It's supposed to make your makeup lay better, but I found that it helps my skin because it makes my skincare penetrate further into my skin.
Right.
So it's like my skin
extra exfoliation kind of thing.
Especially because I have like adult acne, and it's like cystic acne on my jaw, and so that kind of helps like exfoliate all that off, so I don't have to worry about it, which is really nice. Okay. Go ahead and open. I always like to make sure like nothing gets stuck. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
Don't feel crazy or anything?
No.
Feel heavy? No? Feel good? Okay. This is Lash Domination by Bare Minerals. It's new. Like, this is a new bottle. This is...
I can feel it.
When we get these on, hopefully you won't be able to feel them anymore. If not, we can try and move them up. But this is just, it's going to curl them in and comb them in, because you can see it's like a comb.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to actually have you look down at your hands, and you can blink or whatever if you need to. It's not going to ruin anything. Because it gets real awkward when I have to get close to your lashes. Wow, you sit so good.
Thanks.
You're the best. You'd be surprised. Every time I do somebody's lashes, I have to wonder if this is like how eye doctors feel when they have to get in and like get stuff. Because like, people can get crazy, you know, when you're by their eyes. Exactly.
Well, it's not, I mean, honestly, you can't hurt me. I've stabbed my own self in the eye with a mascara wand before, so.
Oh, so
there really is
trying to say?
There really is.
I'm used to pain.
There really isn't anything you can do that's gonna be like
life altering on your eyeball. Okay.
Not at this point.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this Venetian red. I'm gonna have you look straight up. And this is the red that we have like a little bit through here. And we're just going to press it right on the edges. So I don't like to do a lot of underneath liner normally because it just doesn't translate well at all, and it can shut your eye down.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're taking just a little bit of our red, which we used in your shadow, and we're just concentrating it on this outer fourth, and we're smudging it. And I'll kind of show you before I do the other one. You don't want to do a ton of red under the eye because it can make you look bloodshot, but a teeny tiny bit, because this has not like a pinky tone to it, is not too crazy. Here you go.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
This gives you a little pop. How do you feel so far? Okay?
Yeah.
Usually pretty good about asking, and then sometimes I get kind of going and I just... I know it feels weird, sorry. Do you normally do mascara on your bottom?
Sometimes, if I can do it very carefully so as not to give myself spider eyes.
Gotcha.
I've actually, when I bought Elizabeth that Buxom palette, I got a Buxom sample of mascara, and I am in love with it.
Which one is it? Oh, I guess they only have those two.
I don't know. I'd have to dig it out of my purse. But it is fantastic. Like, it is my favorite mascara. And typically, like, I do drugstore stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I very rarely do I spend the money on
That's what you
high-end cosmetics for myself.
She gets it, right?
She gets it, yeah.
You can look straight up while you're talking. You can talk.
Yeah. So,
Like, no, we can't.
there's,
Sorry.
okay.
There you go. Go
like,
ahead.
there's a really inexpensive drugstore brand, that Essence, they sell at Ulta.
Yeah.
And they're one of those mascaras I love, as far as like my top lashes, and I can do a coat, let it dry, do another coat, and I look like I'm wearing false lashes. Like, it's nice and thick, and they're nice and lengthy.
Crazy,
and, yeah. But I cannot do my bottom lashes with that to save my life, or else I look like I have
Spiders?
Yeah. And nobody wants spiders on their
No,
lower lids.
not normally.
But that Buxom is fantastic because it literally, like, it separates out every single one of my eyelashes.
It's got a hourglass brush on it too, so that's what it's grabbing everything and it's creating more curl.
Right.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I've always been a fan of, like, I'm not always a huge Bare Minerals fan. Like, I feel like they do great things sometimes, but like it's got a lot of hype for not always being great on everybody.
Sure.
And the Buxom line is their sister line, but I feel like the Buxom line is like, they do so well with almost everything they do. It's just people don't think about it because it's not as hyped up as the other one.
Sure. Well, I didn't realize that they were sister lines. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that Buxom was Bare Minerals.
Mm-hmm. They started as lip glosses for like their boutiques and stuff.
Oh, I got one of the plumping lip glosses too in Dolly. I got the
love it?
sample. Oh my god, it's fabulous.
The Dolly's like the most popular shade. And it's got super, super plump on it. Like, it's not, but it's not like irritating. Like, it's not like that cinnamon.
No, it's not. It's almost cool. It's like a peppermint kind of cooling.
I kind of compare it to like that mentholy. Yeah.
But that shade is, I mean, it's like a perfect neutral gloss without being, it's not sticky.
Mm-hmm.
It's not heavy. So yeah, that's on my list of things to actually
Purchase?
Yes, which is going to be weird because, like I said, I don't buy high-end stuff for myself. But
Right.
After I got that sample when I bought her eyeshadow, I was like, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to splurge.
This is going to have to be for me. Okay, so this is Buxom. This is actually their plump line lip liner. Oh. So they have a bunch of them, but they're lipstick lip liners.
Cool.
This one's called Hush Hush.
You give me big fat plump lips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think they actually have this in Dolly as a shade, honestly. But I love it because it's creamy, so you just kind of can do whatever you want with it. Sorry. And it's so soft you can like fill in your whole lip. I like Hush Hush because you can do whatever you want, and then you can add other colors like if you want on top, because it's neutrally. It's like kind of rosy. You can go and check that out. Lip color is so personal. I always have everybody kind of like look. And I thought we would do something a little more like a reddy, kind of like a cherry-y, like balmy color on top. Nothing too like intense, but to give you a little pop.
Okay.
What do you think? Or do you want to wear Dolly? You could wear Dolly on top of that if you wanted to.
No, I'm good with that. My upper lip is so small.
I was like, what are you looking at? So I'm actually mixing. I am notorious for mixing lip colors. Like, well, I'm notorious for mixing everything. This is terrible. But I like to mix lip colors too. So this is just a really lightweight lip balm.
Okay.
And we're going to pick it up with a little bit of like a cherry red. Just so we have that, I don't know. To me that just seems, it screams very like classic, like.
And it's going to be okay with the pink hair.
Yes, so.
Okay, because that's my concern with everything is, can I do that because my hair's pink?
So that was the same
thing. Can I wear
actually,
that because my hair's pink?
I was talking to my mom about this because I was like, I really want to give her like a little bit of a red. Like nothing too crazy, but I just feel like that's so like classic and like perfect and not like, I just like it. I don't know. Anyway, you can, and the reason why you can on this one is we're sharing it out, so we're not doing a stark red. It's got that neutral base from the Hush Hush. And then if you want to look before I do your top lip, because I'm going to give you a little plumpy. So see how it starts to blend your hair and everything? It still gives you that red pop?
Looks, yeah. I don't know if I was supposed to do that or not.
That's fine. You're fine. I just was going to carve your top lip out too, and I didn't want you to, I wanted you to look at it before I... And then if you need, do you need to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This is Kat. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, will you have her hang out for like 2 seconds and I can come get her? Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Mary. Bye. Photographer's here.
You're fine, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for you, just in general, if you take, when you do your top lip or your bottom lip, or if you want more plumping, if you take and pull from the bottom of your lip, pull it towards your Cupid's bow.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look, and then maybe you can see where it's already starting to plump that.
And how do you keep... Oh yeah, that's much...
There, sorry.
I was gonna say, how do you keep it from feathering? Because that's such a, it feels thin.
Oh, because it's like a gloss?
Uh-huh.
So what we can do is we can just do a concealer around it to hold it on, but that lip liner actually holds it. It works as it works...
As a base.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a primer, like a lip primer. Okay. That's why I line my lips completely with lip liner every single time, no matter what. And then I do like whatever on top because it will stay on 3 times as long.
Yeah, I typically will do lip liner because I have some lip liners that I love the color.
Yeah.
So I'll do those all over and then I'll slap a little bit of gloss on and call it good and I don't even mess with the lipstick.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. How do you feel? I'm going to take around your lip right here where you got a little bit of... not bad. And this has a little bit of your concealer left on it. So as I'm like cleaning up, you can see where it's kind of depositing just a little bit of color.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing too is if you conceal around, it plumps even more.
How does that work?
It's something about the light catching the eye because your lips are darker, and so usually your concealer's
that up?
Usually your concealer's lighter, so it's bringing all that light to the lip, so it makes it look plumper. Is that hair?
Yeah, it's my hair.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Oh, that looks
That's
fantastic.
the whole lip.
Hey, so
How do you feel?
kind of like a rock star.
That was kind of the point, right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
I like it.
I do too. Let's do this.
Ooh.
Take some pictures.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
So,
Super Bay.
Dacia, thank you so much.
Absolutely. This is
I put
fun.
my earrings in. Okay, so tell us one more time
Yes.
how to find you.
I'm on Instagram, and I have my own blog, but it's Dacia's View. So Dacia's View on Instagram and daciasview.com.
There we go. Dacia Drew.
Dacia Drew.
Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
so
This was so
much.
much fun.
Yay.
Yay! It's like, I can never
Bye. See you next time.